Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here with Sabrina Sendral, who is Senior Vice President of Marketing and Sales for Club Med. Now, there's a lot going on with Club Med right now, and in fact, they just made a major announcement that affects travel advisors, and we're going to talk about all that and more on Insider Travel Report.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me.
Sabrina, how are you, and where are you, and what's going on?
Excellent. I'm doing pretty well, thank you. Considering the circumstances for all of us, I hope you're doing very well too, and everyone who's listening to us is safe and in good health. I'm in Miami right now, which are our North American headquarters, and very hard at work, preparing for the more times of travel ahead and the reopening of our resorts. So
we're going to talk
about that too.
We are absolutely going to talk about that because some of your resorts are opening as we speak. So let's talk about that. Just overall, how has Club Med been working through this crisis? Were you forced to close all your resorts, and maybe what other cuts have you had to make?
So yes, we did have to close all our resorts around the world, although not exactly all of them at the same time. Our first priority was to ensure the safe return home of all our guests after this closure, and also of our staff. Some of them are international staff, so we had to make sure they could get home as well. And then the priority was very much about taking care of our local communities where we have the resorts. So here in the Caribbean, we organized food donations to our employees and to food banks. Here in Florida, we donated medical masks, medical equipment. And we even baked and organized the delivery of our world-famous white chocolate bread to the frontline workers in Port St. Lucie near our resort in Sandpiper Bay in Florida.
Oh wow, that's great! I should have been working there so I could get some of that. I missed that.
We thought they deserved a treat, and we made it happen. And those are obviously very important moments of solidarity and very close to our hearts. And for the rest, it's also been an opportunity for us to really watch and listen and learn at a global scale, thanks to our international footprint, about what's going on and how the market is reacting to this major crisis. So we launched our own survey to gauge the interest in future travel. Which led us to being very, I would say, cautiously optimistic about the near future for the travel industry. We saw that about 60% of US respondents, and we had about 900 respondents, 60% of them were prepared to travel and were looking to travel before the end of 2020. So that was an extremely positive sign for us. We also found that, again, 60% of respondents would favor domestic travel first, clearly, and also favor traveling as a family. We had about 55% of respondents who were saying, I would like to travel with my close and or extended family. And that really indicated to us that there was this demand of people who had been separated sometimes from their extended families, grandparents from their grandchildren. And so this multi-gen travel trend that we had observed even before this all started was going to come back even stronger. And we are confident that that's going to come back even stronger. In terms of destinations, I mentioned domestic travel, but also a very strong interest for the Caribbean short term, as early as this summer, with the top destinations coming up being Turks and Caicos, being the Bahamas and Mexico. And more than 70% of respondents said that the top vacation choice they were looking to take was a beach getaway. It's really these open spaces, the opportunity to relax, to get away from it all, to escape a little bit, coming up in this desirability for a beach getaway.
No, those are all very strong, and you seem to be well positioned to deliver on those vacation wishes this summer, being that you are very family focused, and also you obviously offer at least one resort in Port St. Lucie, Sandpiper, that is opening as we speak here, and as well as obviously a lot of Caribbean properties as well. So you're all set. Now, I got a question for you. I mean, for this downtime, how did you use it? Did you work on retooling, refurbishing, and sort of adjusting your resort product?
Yes, obviously, it's a very unique time to have all our resorts closed. We are taking the time to ensure that we reopen our resorts with really elevated level of health and safety protocols. That's the most important thing. Our primary concern is the health and safety of our staff and our clients. So we built a program called Safe Together, and I can go into a little bit more detail,
Sure.
but the idea is to work along the recommendations of the World Health Organization, of local health authorities, governments, but we also pulled together an international scientific committee of doctors and professors. And based on their recommendations, we built this program called Safe Together. And it really comes into play at every stage of the customer journey, right from the pickup at the airport, from the arrival, all the way through to in the restaurants, in the rooms, obviously, for sports, how we operate our sports activities, which are obviously an essential part of the Club Med experience, our kids clubs. So there are many ways in which these hygiene and safety protocols come alive in these different areas, and some of them are also very specific to us. I mean, James, our expertise in kids clubs, for example. So how does this translate into kids clubs? Well, hand washing activity every hour with our staff, temperature taking every morning, sanitization of the kids clubs daily. And then for the sports as well, we've adapted our sports scheduling. But what I want to say also is that in doing all that, the one thing we did also want to make sure of is that it would stay true to the Club Med experience. Mm-hmm. And that after all, it's going to be you're going to find the fundamentals that make the Club Med experience so unique. The things that are so true to our DNA are very much going to be present more than ever. Only they will be present with an elevated level of hygiene and safety measures. So the GOs, the socializing, the entertainment, the sports, all that is going to be very much present.
No, and absolutely, and then the other thing is, of course, you often have some of the best buffets I can remember, because amazing buffets. Everybody kind of poo-poos buffets, but the Club Med buffet is another experience, and I think you're making some adjustments to that as well, right?
Yes, the buffets are quite something, and we're obviously maintaining the quality of food and the diversity of the options. Nevertheless, moving to more single portions, plated presentation, and that goes along with more show cooking as well. So bringing the chefs out of the kitchen and onto the main floor and being able to prepare these plated dishes live and hand them to the clients all set up, rather than the self-service component. And that's something that our chefs really enjoy doing, because it showcases their talent, it showcases their multiculturality. They come from all over the world. So I think it's a great opportunity to push that further.
No,
push
absolutely.
the envelope further on that.
No, that's great. And then, of course, starting this week, I think you're starting to open. I know Club Med Sandpiper, as I mentioned. What's opening up now? What about some of the other ones in the North American area, that like Club Med Punta Cana, Club Med Cancun, and we're going to talk about your newest resort in a second. But what is opening right now?
Absolutely. Well, we're very excited to be reopening Club Med Sandpiper Bay here in Florida. The opening date is June 12th, Friday, June 12th. And we've already seen a very positive response to the sales, to the booking, in terms of bookings. So really picking up. We've really seen this pent-up demand that was waiting in some ways to be reassured, with a clear opening date and with clear hygiene and safety protocols, which are the very important parameters in decision making right now. And we've seen an immediate response starting from the time that we came out with those pieces of information. Sandpiper has the perfect location, has the accessibility. You don't need a passport. The perfect mix of amenities, both for families and for adults. And it will be set up with our Safe Together protocols. So it's really an ideal starting point. And following the opening of Sandpiper Bay, we are just about to announce, so I think this is the first time I'm going on air with this, the opening date of Club Med Cancun, which is going to be on July 1st. And then Club Med Turks and Caicos, Club Med Turquoise, on August 1st.
Wow.
So these are some of our fan favorite resorts, especially Turquoise with the adults only alternative. So really looking forward to getting those resorts open and hosting our guests, our GMs, as we say.
Now, what about your newest one, the one that just opened towards the end of last year and really was starting to really get going at the beginning, the Club Med Miche Playa Esmeralda in the Dominican Republic, which you had really been promoting because it's a very special, very different Club Med, one of the more luxurious ones. Tell us a little bit about when you think that might open and what's happened to the resort in the meantime.
Absolutely. So it was our first exclusive collection resort in North America, as you mentioned. It really showcased our way of doing luxury in a very Club Med way, staying loyal to the Club Med DNA once again, and also pioneering a brand new destination where there was absolutely nothing there but a beautiful paradise of a beach and site. So we look forward to reopening it. It's temporarily closed, and we're really following very closely the various travel trends, the demand, the airline scheduling, really listening to the market. And it's too soon for me to give you the exact date, but based on our observations, we'll be scheduling a reopening date. We hope sooner than later.
That's great. And one of these I have to get down there because I heard so much about it, and I didn't go down there initially, but hopefully when
we
you
will
get
make
going,
sure of that.
We'd love to see you. I'd love to get down there and do a live interview with you instead of here. But now let's talk. Yeah, go ahead.
What I also wanted to say about Club Med Miche Playa Esmeralda, it's a great example of something that's very important to consumers right now, I believe, which is the fact that Club Med has always built resorts in very low density. We don't have 30-story towers. We allow for nature to take its rights, and we're very much sites that are very much integrated in their natural environment. And Club Med Miche is an example of that. And we're really hearing also from our guests and from our travel advisors that that's what consumers want right now. Maybe rather than some more dense properties that don't offer that experience. So if you take the example of Sandpiper Bay, it's 200 acres for 300 rooms. Mm-hmm. So if you bring it down to a 65% occupancy, which is what is what we're opening up with, that's about 3 guests per acre. And wow. I think,
you almost get your own acre, huh?
Exactly. We're going to put that in our marketing. But I think that's a very important selling point and reassurance point with the social distancing right now.
No, absolutely. And now another resort that you've been really promoting, and it's not going to open until I believe next year, is the sort of ski resort, or Club Med Quebec Charlevoix. Which is the first Club Med resort in Canada, and it'll be 4 seasons, although it's a mountain resort. Have there been any delays now in constructing this property, or do you still expect to hit that December 2021 opening?
There haven't been any delays. We've adapted the construction schedule based on what we were able to do over the past few months, but we're still totally on track to open the resort by December 2021. And it's really going to bring the North American market, bring into the North American market this all-inclusive ski model that have been very successful with in Europe. And not only in the winter, but also in the summer. It's really going to be a 4 seasons product that's going to evolve with each season and with the destination and what the destination has to offer. And we look forward to opening it in December 2021, which means that we will open our books for reservations towards the end of this year already.
No, that's great. And you did mention that you, in the past few years, you've really been focused on promoting your all-inclusive ski resorts, because I don't think anybody else has all-inclusive ski resorts in the market. And do you think you'll be doing that this year, given that maybe Europe, well, I personally think people will go to Europe towards the end of this year, and they will go for ski season.
But are you going to that too?
Yeah, I mean, are you going to continue to promote those ski resorts that you have in Europe?
Absolutely. And we've seen some good results lately. I mean, every year, year on year, we see over 30% growth in our business from North America to the Alps and to our European ski resorts. And I don't think that this year is going to be that different. There's been a slight pause in reservations, a bit of a wait and see attitude. But in the months of January, February, we already got those early bookings coming in, ski groups, ski clubs, and extended families already booking for next year. So we're definitely going to continue to market this experience. We really believe that it's very unique, very unmatched in terms of having an all-inclusive program for skiing. And we also have new things coming up in the ski areas. So we have a new format which we call Slow and Snow, which recognizes that some people may want to go on a ski vacation but not necessarily ski right from morning all the way till evening. Or if they're beginners, they might want to learn for a few hours a day, but then the rest of the day do some yoga, do some stretching, do cooking classes, other types of activities. So the Slow and Snow concept is really offering a more balanced experience for those who are less focused on skiing. So a very new concept that we'll be launching in a few of our resorts. And then we have a whole new property opening in December this year called La Rosière. So La Rosière is in the French Alps, but it's very close to the Italian Alps. The ski domain actually spreads over France and Italy. So it's pretty cool because you have the two influences, both the French and the Italian influence. So I can tell you that in terms of the food, you've got the best, pretty much as good as it gets, the food and the wine and the cheese.
How are you going to ski after all that food and wine? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a good question, but you've earned it after a day of skiing, I think. and it's going to offer all the kids clubs right from 4 months old, so we can take care of our clients' kids while they go out skiing. It's going to be a very unique experience and opening at the end of this year, and we look forward to celebrating that and to welcome guests as soon as it opens.
So one of the things I did want to ask you is how you've been marketing the Club Med during this crisis period, such as I understand that you launched the Club Med at Home program. Can you tell us a little bit about that to sort of inspire people to get back doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've continued to animate, to market and to animate through these tough few months, but in a very different way. Absolutely, recognizing that people were staying home, people weren't focused on booking vacations, but both consumers and travel partners were more than happy to hear from us in a different way. So we decided that we wanted to bring a little bit of the Club Med spirit into their homes, whether again it be travel advisors or clients. And we created this program called Club Med at Home, which shared recipes, family games, puzzles, live performances, yoga classes online. To keep the Club Med spirit alive. And our TAs our travel advisors really gave us excellent feedback about this program because they recognized some of the classics that they love about Club Med. We actually gave out the recipe to the famous white chocolate bread for the first time.
That's a secret recipe. I didn't think anybody was allowed to have that one.
Well, we thought if ever, this is the time to do it. I think just in general also acknowledging that it wasn't necessarily the time to plan travel yet, but that there were other ways to keep everyone engaged and to keep the relationship alive with the market and with our partners.
No, that's great. And I know that, to keep the spirit alive, as you said, it's great to both for consumers and travel advisors to remember what it's like. And now we're back at a situation where you're coming back online, and so they should be ready. And let's talk a little bit about that. How have you been working with travel advisors here in the U.S. to first help them rebook their clients for, when the resorts were closed or their clients couldn't get there, and get them back on track to book Club Med in the future?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, the priority was checking in with them. making sure they were doing okay, their loved ones were doing okay, keeping in touch. And we created some videos with our BDMs of support, just purely support messages. We're here for you, and we know that these are tough times for all of us, but we'll get through it together, was the main message in a first instance. But then it's about giving our travel advisors the tools that enable them to address the main concerns of our clients. And what came up, going back to the survey I mentioned to you, what came back as the two main factors of concern and of needed reassurance for booking travel from our clients were, number one, the hygiene and safety measures. So we actually hosted a webinar last week with 400 travel advisors to really go through all the details of these hygiene and safety measures so that they could comfortably convey them to the clients to reassure them. And the second point that came out from the survey was flexibility in terms of canceling or postponing travel. So we came out with a fully flexible revisions policy, giving our clients up to for travel up to December 14th. The opportunity to cancel at no fees with a full refund their travel. So
that's great. Yeah,
up to 15 days before the exact date of travel. And I think that that's a really important barrier to raise, to say to our clients right now, you can book with confidence. And if for any reason whatsoever you don't feel comfortable traveling, you'll be able to cancel at no fees and get a refund. So that was one of the main actions that we brought to market, and I think one of the main tools for our travel advisors as well.
No, and are you seeing I mean, you have canceled bookings that you're rebooking for the future, but are you seeing new bookings through travel advisors?
Yes, definitely. We're seeing this pent-up demand coming in now for Club Med Sandpiper Bay, and also starting for Turks and Caicos and Cancun. We're selling over the last 10 days where we sold double what we sold last year for Club Med Sandpiper Bay. So excellent demand for this domestic travel, really taking off in terms of sales. And we're also seeing, like I mentioned to you, we're also seeing the early bookings coming in for the holidays and for the beginning for spring break, for school holidays next year, because our clients and our partners are very aware that we do have a limited capacity. It sells out fast, and it still will continue to sell out fast. And so they want to get those bookings in right now for those key weeks of end of 2020 and beginning of 2021.
No, that's great. And it's nice to hear new business getting on the books. And then, of course, you just literally, in fact, I got the release today, launched what you're calling the Great Advisor Appreciation Month. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it's going to recognize and reward travel advisors?
Absolutely. Well, we really wanted to thank our travel partners for their continued support and for their dedication, even more so through this year, this first part of the year that has brought new challenges. And so now more than ever, we wanted to celebrate their hard work and dedication. So we're hosting these festivities throughout the month of June on the Great Advisors USA Facebook group. And there'll be many perks and prizes, including double Great Advisor loyalty points, for instance, that then allow to acquire free nights in our resorts, gift cards with trivia, with fun scavenger hunts. I don't want to give away too much. We'll also have a grand prize winner who will get the chance to take part in the opening event for Club Med Québec Charlevoix. So when we host the opening of that new resort, we will have a lucky travel advisor who will join us. And very importantly also, we felt it was a good gesture to give what we're doing is giving 20 great advisors the opportunity to nominate and award a frontline healthcare worker of their choice for a much needed 7-night vacation to one of our resorts in the Caribbean. So it's really acknowledging that every one of us knows or has this one hero in mind that has worked tirelessly through this crisis on the front lines, and our travel advisors will be, I'm sure, more than happy to be able to reward those frontline heroes on our behalf and on their own behalf.
No, that's a great program, and I'm sure that there are going to be travel advisors will really appreciate the offer and the chance to also help those first responders and medical and all the things that they've been, especially during this horrible crisis, which is literally been the worst time for travel that I can remember in my lifetime. And I've been through a few of these, but this is definitely a new level.
Absolutely.
But hopefully we'll get through this. Now, are there any other messages that you might have for our 100,000 Travel Advisor viewers? What should they be focusing on now, and how can Club Med help them build back their business, and vice versa?
Well, I think first of all, let's all stay positive. Let's all stay true to the beautiful industry that we work in, and getting people to dream about their next escape, whether it be very soon this summer or whether it be a little bit further out. But we're getting through this side by side together, and we have the end of the tunnel in sight, and hopefully I've given you some elements from our surveys and from what we're observing around the world. In China as well, we're observing greatly positive signs. So we have to capitalize on that opportunity that's out there. And I think that we have to recognize that our clients are shifting their priorities somewhat, and that should lead to new ways of selling and new ways of reassuring our clients and gearing them towards the right choices. I think, like I mentioned, the low density topic is very much a concern right now, and a good selling point for our travel advisors to use. The Safe Together protocols, the new flexible booking policy, and then we're also protecting our travel advisors' loyalty program status. We're protecting their commission levels through 2021 as well. So we're also recognizing that this year has been very exceptional and unique in many ways, and we need to take unique measures to answer those.
No, absolutely. And I'm happy to see all these programs you're putting in place with the travel advisors, who I know have been strong supporters of Club Med, as have I. I've been a Club Med convert for many, many years, and trying to get the word out, and exactly the kind of resorts that you have, and they're amazing. And hopefully we'll all be back to them soon. Anything else you want to add, or we basically covered it?
No, I think we've covered it. I think the demand is out there right now. It's starting, so let's capitalize on it all together. The reality is that we have a reduced capacity in our resorts to allow for the social distancing component, and so space is actually going to be quite premium and quite rare. So let's work together to capture the demand and the eagerness to travel and to get back to escaping and enjoying the good things of life that, as you know, Club Med offers very well.
Well, Sabrina, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us about what's going on with Club Med, and it's a lot, including the most recent news about the Great Advisor Appreciation Month, which just came out today. I look forward to getting back to a Club Med somewhere, whether that's Sandpiper or Dominican Republic or somewhere else, and see what you've done. And obviously, we're looking forward to the other resorts that are opening up in the next 2 years. But again, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much, James. Take care and see you soon in one of our resorts. We'll be waiting for you.
Absolutely. I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.